All right, here with Glen Jennings. Glen, big fight week here for Nikita Tszyu. Always a lot on the line when Nikita Tszyu fights, it seems.
Yeah, I mean, when you get to 10-0 and you've been on this big platform for every one of them fights, each fight's a step up. This guy comes from Germany, well credentialed, and first of the big international fights for Nikita. So, yeah, there's always a risk, and Nikita is at that point in his career now where he's got to start taking some of those risks.
I want to ask you, obviously the fight itself is an important fight, but a lot of talk in the media this week about Nikita Tszyu. You know, he's come out with some pretty outlandish comments, you know, about the breast milk, this, that and the other. There's been some comments from Michael Zerafa today saying he's sort of disrespecting the Tszyu name, and Kostya's got that great legacy, Tim's legacy. What do you make of those sort of comments?
But Kostya Tszyu is a legend in the sport, but Kostya is Kostya. As Tim is Tim and Nikita is Nikita. And the day we try to close down their personalities is the day we lose everything. Nikita is a very different individual. He's nothing like his father in terms of the way he conducts himself, and he's nothing like his brother in the way he conducts himself. That's the beauty of it. Nikita is very quirky. You cannot script Nikita. I can't give Nikita a cheat sheet, place it in front of him and say, follow the script. He won't do that. That's not him. He's as real as they get, whether you like it or not. So you have to decide. The people have to decide, is he that weird that I love him, or is he that weird that I can't stand him? That's up to the individuals to decide.
How much is at stake in this fight for Nikita Tszyu? You said on the stage just now you're thinking of, you know, bigger things in the future and not looking past this fight, but, you know, how much is at stake for Nikita Tszyu?
Look, I always have to think down the line, and without being cocky, you've got to be confident in your fighter's ability to be able to go down that line. The pathway has to go upwards, mate, not sideways or backwards. So people often say, this is a problem in boxing. Everyone looks too far ahead. Not the fighter. Don't mistake what I say for the fighter. Managers and promoters have to think 2 and 3 fights ahead. So for Nikita, we have a pathway, and his movement is going upwards. And yes, every one of them is attached to a risk. But at the end of the day, these are fighters. They have to fight, and they have to fight better fighters, better quality fighters, to reach that goal of fighting for a world title. When you get to that level, you've reached it, and that's as far as it goes in this sport. So if you choose to not fight your way through, that's up to you. But for these boys, we've got to keep on bringing them along at a suitable pace that allows them the best opportunity to win that world title eventually.
Tim Tszyu, we're all there in Vegas a few weeks ago now. How do you look back on that fight, and, you know, what impact has that had on Tim Tszyu and his career moving forward?
Look, I've said it a couple of times, and I'll say it again. Tim Tszyu is a fighter. Let me ask you a question. How many fights have you watched in the last year where the ring announcer at the end of the fight goes to the winner of the fight and says, who do you want to fight next? What's the main answer to that question?
The best.
Correct.
Best out there.
It's 100% they'll say, I want to fight the best. Now let me ask you, how many of those fighters that have said, I want to fight the best, have you seen fight the best?
Very few.
Very few. Tim Tszyu is an exception to the rule. And this is what frustrates and disappoints, is that when you announce that you want to fight the best, and you go and you fight the best, and you give it your best, and you come up short, you've done it. You've fought the best. No, you didn't win. But how can that be in detriment to you when you said that's what you're going to do? Is it better to go and do that and fight the best? And yes, if you lose, you dust off and you go again, or is it better to talk into a microphone and say, I want to fight the best, and then disappear?
Yeah, because it's almost like, you know, Tim's only losses are Buckram and Sebastian Fondora, two of the best guys in the division. You know, the other guys in the division haven't fought Buckram and Fondora, so let's see how they go first before criticising Tim Tszyu.
Where are all the champions? Where are all the contenders for Buckram Mirtsalayev? There are none. Buckram's sitting on a shelf gathering dust. Not his fault. Something fundamentally wrong with boxing when there's a ranking system that's designed to let you fight Mirtsalayev and nobody puts their hand up. Tim Tszyu did. Tim Tszyu went in the battle against Fondora, 6'6", freak of a fighter. Did it once, not good enough. I'm going back for more. So Tim Tszyu is a fighter. There's plenty of people on BoxRec who are supposed to be fighters who aren't, and they don't fight. Since when has it been okay to take 2 years off? Since when has it been okay to avoid mandatories? The whole process for this game that we're in, boxing, is to fight the best at world title level, and that's all Tim Tszyu has done. And so there is nothing bad I can say about that. The fact that he's lost, okay. If you're going to lose against the best in the world, and be proud of the fact that you got in there. Don't turn around and say, I've fought the best, but you've only fought everyone that's not a world champ. That's not what it's about. So I back Tim Tszyu all the way. Win, lose or draw, that kid is a fighter, and Australia needs Tim Tszyu. Australian boxing needs Tim Tszyu. We need more Tim Tszyus that are prepared to put it on the line and go into the ring and fight the best guys, not just talk about it.
What about the fight itself? There's been a lot of commentary around the end of the fight. What's your understanding of how that all transpired? And, there's been some comments about Tim Tszyu perhaps, I don't want to use the word, but quitting on his stool. What do you make of those comments?
I don't believe that for a second. I mean, their comments are a dime a dozen. Social media, a dime a dozen. People have an audience on social media they can say what they like. They don't have to back it up. At the end of the day, there's a group of guys in his corner, his team, that take care of him. And in this instance, it was pretty obvious to his coach that Tim had done all he could. He fought his ass off. When it comes to that, you're the devil or you're not. If you don't make the call and he gets hurt, it's on you. If you do make the call and some say it's too early, it's on you. I'm happy with the outcome of that, the fact that Tim Tszyu is capable of getting on with life, doing whatever he wants to do, fighting again, whatever the case may be. But you always have to consider the fighter's health, and that's what happened that night.
A bit of time off now for Tim, you'd expect?
Yeah, look, he's enjoying a nice break away from boxing. And let's be honest, that kid hasn't had a break from boxing for years. He went from camp to camp to camp. And remember, people soon forget, go back to Jamel Charlo. Tim was in a 10-week camp for Jamel Charlo. And Jamel Charlo rings up, I'm out. Tim Tszyu says, dust it off, I'm staying in camp, let's go again. We get Keith Thurman. Tim Tszyu continues on, doing this day in, day out. These guys, Tim Tszyu and Nikita Tszyu, they train like freaks. They bust their ass for this sport. We go to fight Keith Thurman. Keith pops a bicep tendon, Keith's out. An opportunity has arisen. Does Tim Tszyu take a backward step and say, no, I'm tired, I've been in camp for 22 weeks? No, Tim Tszyu says, I'll take Fundora on 10 days' notice. Tim Tszyu goes into the ring, an adverse elbow changes the pathway. Does Tim Tszyu say, no, I'm tired, I lost my belt? No, Tim Tszyu comes home and says, who's next? Give me the best. I want to fight the best. Tim Tszyu gets an opportunity based on his performance and the reaction to the Fundora performance to fight the beast from the east, the Chechen Murtalayev. Tim Tszyu puts his hand up. Straight back into camp. No holidays. Bang, bang, bang. Goes in against Murtalayev, loses the fight. But he did it. He did the camp. He did the fight. He lost it. Did Tim Tszyu come home and put his tail between his legs? No. Tim Tszyu come home and said, let's rebuild. Let's go again. I want Thurman. I want Fundora. A big list of guys. Who's available? Fundora becomes available. Tim Tszyu puts his hand up and says, let's go. Now, people will question choices and the likes. No, you can't question a fighter's choice. He is a true fighter. And I come back to that, and that's what I rest my laurels on. When you manage a true fighter, expect losses because you're going in against the very best. And Tim Tszyu, I have no doubt, when Tim Tszyu comes back, and Tim Tszyu will make the decision on what he wants, and Tim Tszyu will make the right decision for Tim Tszyu. And until then, nothing further to say on it.
Just quick last word on some of the other guys you got. Brendan Gratch here today. Some other big fighters in your stable, mates. What's happening over there at Fight Life?
Great to have Brandon back on the No Limits card. As you know, his last fight was the second of the Talivaha fight, so it's 1-1 now. And we are very, very hopeful of a trilogy. Brandon would love to square that up. given the opportunity, but you've got to go through this process. When you take a loss, you've got to come back, you've got to work extra hard. So Brandon's back in the ring on Wednesday night at the ICC, and another sellout for No Limits. It's going to be a cracker of a night. It's been interesting. Fight Life's been a hospital ward for the last year. They're all back. Liam Wilson's back on the 18th of September. Billy Polkinghorn's back in October. Vegas Larfield will be back in October. Shannon O'Connell and Cooper O'Connell, great wins last weekend. We had an overseas offer for Shannon this morning that's now under consideration. Cooper will be back in as soon as I can get him back in, which could be as early as September 18. Sunny Knight's ready to go again. Amber Amelia's back in the ring. She'll be ready to go, hopefully for October. So yeah, look, it's very, very busy time for me, but I've got to say, I'm very excited about Wednesday night. Very excited for Nikita headlining yet his 11th pay-per-view. The kid lives on the big stage, doesn't he? I often think about that because that in itself is an achievement, eh? You don't get a chance. You can't hide. When you sit on the top tier, you can't hide. And Nikita, he's got no intention of hiding, mate. He's here and he's coming for the lot.
Nice one, Glenn. Appreciate your time.
No worries, pleasure.